Sadguru, I think we today live in a society that is very goal-oriented, and we constantly… Sorry.
I'm the one who should losing my voice, not…
And I think we constantly look for numbers and tangible things to prove our achievements. And I think that people get so obsessed with their end goals that they forget to enjoy the process. For example, at LSE, a lot of people see their degree as a means to an end, and as a result, they forget to enjoy their time while they're here, because all they think is like, oh, that career that this degree is going to bring me, or that place that this degree is going to bring me to. And so my question for you is, which is more important, the process or the end goal? And are we able to move forward if we only focus on the process?
See, that's because a whole lot of people have kind of wrongly conceived that life is some kind of a race. If life is a race, of course you must win. If you win, what should happen? You must get to the finish line first. You didn't get that? If it's a race, you must get to the finish line first, isn't it? That's the intent of a race. You know what's the finish line? You know what's the finish line? You want to get there soon? No, we don't want to get there soon, isn't it? We will get there, we know, but we're not in a rush to get there, we do our best to see that we don't get there soon. So definitely this is not a race. So what is it that every human being is trying to achieve? Right now, being in an atmosphere like this, maybe you're thinking of profession, maybe a business, maybe getting to some place, I don't know, maybe you're trying to win an award or something, I don't know what. But you must understand, whether it's money or wealth or recognition, fame, name, whatever it is, essentially what you're trying to do is, you want to experience life a little more than the way it is right now. Somebody thinks it'll happen with knowledge, somebody thinks it'll happen with money, somebody thinks it'll happen with pleasure, somebody thinks it'll happen with, relationships or something else, doing something in the world, or somebody thinks it'll happen only when they go to heaven. But all of them are seeking the same thing. I want you to understand, the man who goes to the bar and the man who goes to the temple are seeking the same thing through different means, fulfillment, isn't it? Yes or no? I know, a lot of people don't like it. Hello? Religious people won't like it, but the fact of the matter is, everybody is seeking the same thing. You want your life to become larger than the way it is right now, isn't it? You want your experience of life to become more profound, more intense, more something. Why do you think half the people are on alcohol and drugs? Simply because they're seeking an experience. And they found chemicals are the easiest way to have a large experience. Tomorrow you're broken, that's another matter. But right now there is an experience. Why do people want to go to heaven? Because they think the experience out there is better than here. At least that's the marketing. That's what the advertisements say, at least. If it's such a great place, why don't you go today? No. You must be really psyched to want to go today. All others, just play with it to the extent it's comfortable. Just trying to handle heaven, they're just trying to handle their psychological situation with heaven as a fruit up there. Because if you remove it, they'll get fearful, where am I going then? But if you really believe it's a better place, you must be gone today before all these fools get there, isn't it? Hello? Because you want to be on the top of the class. So, we must understand this, that this is not a race. This is not a race. This is not something that you're going to win or lose. See, you don't have to fear about this life. It is not like LSE. You understand? only if you study to a certain extent, only if you do this project, only if you write this paper, you will pass. It's not like that. Everybody shall pass here. Hello? This is not unfair like LSE. Everybody shall pass. Only question is, how profound is my experience of life, isn't it? How do you make it profound? That's a question. Right now, suppose I'm saying, just for example, suppose you start seeing something more than everybody else is seeing, would your life become somewhat profound compared to others? If you start hearing something more than others are hearing, would it become profound? Yes or no? So essentially, it's enhancement of your perception which makes you profound. So to enhance your perception, you drink, you drug, sexuality, food, this, that, a million things, success, money, destroy the whole damn planet just to make your experience little more profound. I'm saying all human experience, misery or joy, agony or ecstasy, anything or anything, everything comes from within you. Is it so? Hello? Yes. The stimuli may be from outside, but both pain and pleasure comes from within you, isn't it? If you just take charge of the fundamental process of what generates experience within you, the seat of your experience, if you sit there consciously, you can create any experience you want. Look at my eyes, I'm always stoned. Yeah. Never touched a substance, but always like this only. People wonder, how is it Sadguru, 18-20 hours a day, non-stop, 7 days of the week you're going on, you don't go crazy, how is it? Because I'm stoned all the time. Nothing seems to bother.
Stoned on what? Please tell me.
Is this human mechanism the most sophisticated and complex chemical factory on the planet? Is it? If you were a great manager of things, would you create very pleasurable chemistry or a messy chemistry? Because you have decided you want to make it hard. If you are a good manager of things, would you make a pleasurable, enjoyable, ecstatic chemistry, or would you make miserable chemistry for yourself? What would you do?
Pleasurable, but…
Ecstatic.
Yeah,
Yes.
but the world wouldn't agree to that. The world would throw its own…
Why should the world agree?
Yeah.
I'm blissed out. They don't agree, that's their problem.
No, like, the world will still throw its struggles and
They
challenges.
do, of course they do. Especially if the world is throwing things at you, is it not all the more important that you're blissed out? Hello?
Of course.
Especially the world has not necessarily by intention, they've become like that. Simply. Not necessarily because they hate you, simply people are throwing things at each other all the time. Especially when you're living in a world like that, is it not very important? If the outside situation is not conducive, you keep yourself absolutely conducive for life. Is this not very important? But most people do not even know how to sit here peacefully. Forget about ecstasy in their life, they've never seen that. You have to pump some chemical into them for them to know some sense of blissfulness, otherwise they don't know that. I'll tell you. Can I tell you a situation?
Of course.
I was supposed to speak at Tel Aviv. I'm flying out of Atlanta. I'm to land there in the morning, mid-morning, and speak at 6:30 in the evening. But due to some flight delays and stuff, and I land at 6 o'clock in the evening. So I'm traveling an American airline, nothing edible on the plane. So I'm famished, I'm super hungry. But I land at 6 o'clock, so I quickly change in the airport and I'm rushing to the venue because in this 37 years, as I said earlier, in this 37 years, I've never been late to a single event yet. So, Though sometimes in a day I'm in 2 different countries, in 3 different cities, things like this, still I have not been late. This will take a lot of work because I don't want people who come on time to feel like idiots, isn't it? People who come on time must be honored. People who come late must be made to feel like idiots. But right now in most of the events, people who come on time are the idiots, people who come late are the important people. Isn't it? So unfortunately, social situations have become like this. So I'm rushing to the venue, and when I land at the venue, to my amazement, this doesn't happen at all to me, I am speaking at a fine restaurant. When you're this hungry, just the place to go. Then I walk in, people are already coming in, they're greeting me, and one man comes up to me and says, "Shalom." I ask him, "What does it mean?" He says, "This is the highest way of greeting." I say, "That's your opinion, but what does it mean?" He says, "No, this is really the highest way of greeting." I said, "Fine, what does the word mean?" He said, "It means peace." Then I say, "Why is peace the highest way of greeting unless you're born in Middle East?" In South India, if you come in the morning and say, "Peace," I'll say, "What's wrong with you?" So, anything we are deprived of, slowly we will export it to heaven. Today, if we say peace, we say divine peace. If you say love, divine love. If you say bliss, divine bliss. These are all things human beings are capable of. Hello? Are you capable? At least some moments in your life, you're peaceful, you're joyful, you're blissful. Does it happen to you? These are all human qualities. Certain idiots have exported it to heaven. And it's becoming harder and harder to get there. Now you're evolving a philosophy, how to suffer through my life and achieve something. What will you achieve? We'll just bury you. Or if you come to India, we'll burn you.
But that will happen anyways, you are
Yes.
meant to…
So anyway, it's going to happen. What is the most important thing? This life should find full expression in this limited amount of time that we have, isn't it? If you want to find full expression, there is substantial scientific and medical evidence to show you only when you're in pleasant states of experience will you find full expression to who you are. Does everybody endorse this, please? Hello? Many of you look too serious for me. Many people have become dead serious. When I look at the way they're walking on the street, I think they're practicing for the last pose. Please, I want to tell you, the last posture that you will have in your coffin or in your crematorium or wherever, believe me, it comes naturally. You don't have to practice it all your life. Grave. You know what the word grave means? Grave means you're practicing for the grave. No, you don't have to practice. Here you have to practice how to be alive. Death will come. It's life which can happen inefficiently. Death is always super efficient, isn't it so? Have you ever seen death happening inefficiently? Have you? So you don't have to practice it all your life. Life happens inefficiently. Whichever way we do it, there is a better way to do it. Huh? Whichever way you do it, still there is a better way to do it with life, isn't it? Death you can't do any better, you don't have to strive, it will happen perfectly, believe me. It doesn't need you.